Well, we're pretty much done now with the basic functionality. This is what we wanted and it looks like it's working nicely. But is it really? Let's remove the previous forest that we created with the delete my objects script, then deselect the plane that we have now, so we have nothing selected. So let's try to create the forest now. Well, we get an error message with the macro script exception unknown property mesh in undefined. The reason for this is that our script assumes that there is something selected and just starts working with $.mesh property. If we open the script, well, we just get the number of vertices from the $.mesh property, right? But the variable $sign holds nothing. It is undefined when we don't have anything selected. This error wouldn't show up if the tool was used as intended with the geometry object selected. Well, programmers are quite arrogant people, hence the term used to make a script safer on the area of misuse. They call it foolproofing. So now we will learn how to foolproof our script a little to avoid error messages from obvious misuses of the script. So at first we have to make sure something is selected. Since our script assumes that there is only one object selected, what we need is to make sure there is one and exactly one object selected. In the previous block we learned about for cycles. We controlled the flow of the script, hijacking its default linear habit into repeating a couple lines several times over. We will now learn about another method to control script flow, the if-then-else conditional statement. Our problem now is that we want to run the script if we have exactly one object selected. We don't want to run it if the number of selected objects is different. In other words, we have a condition, and based on whether that condition is true or false, we want to either run a given code or not run it. So the if-then-else conditional statement is meant for just this usage. This is how it looks like in MaxScript. We have the word if, then comes the condition which yields to either true or false, and based on whether the condition was true or not, we have two script blocks that are being run. The first one after the word then is being run if the condition was true, or the second one after the word else is being run if the condition was false, it was not true. In our case, the condition is whether we have exactly one object selected or not. There's a global variable that has similar but more general use than the $sign had. If you remember, the $sign variable held the current selection all the time. Now this global variable is called selection. Let me just type it into the listener. That's the variable's name. It consistently holds the current selection in an object set. $sign might sound as if it was doing the same, but $sign is not consistent in the value type it holds. If we had 5 objects selected, $sign would have an object set type. Let's try that quickly. If I have a $sign, let's create a tree on the, or actually a whole forest, and select them all the objects that I have. $sign, the type of $sign is object set. But if we only have one single object selected, I'm now selecting the plane, $sign returns the plane itself. It's holding the actual object instead of an object set consisting of that single item. Note that a single item is not the same as a collection consisting of a single item. Think of an apple, for example, compared to a bag holding a single apple inside. Now, the variable called selection is consistent. It always holds